Hey everybody, what's up? It's Dunbar Snack Bar here with Madden 2012. This is literally the first game of Madden that I've been able to play, and it's the first viewer request game. So even if I posted something on YouTube before this game for Madden 2012, I mean this quite literally. I have taken the disc out of the box just now, placed it in the Xbox, and hit record. So I really don't know too much what to expect. I did get a chance to be able to play the demo, but of course, when the game comes out, the game is a lot different than the demo, I believe. So this will kind of be like my first impressions as well as the very first game. Now, the first request that came in for Madden is what I'm going to be playing here. The New York Jets going up against the New York Giants. And the request came in to play as the Jets, which I'm kind of excited about because that means I get LT on my team. So we'll kind of see what Daniel Tomlinson can do on the ground. I'm going to have a lot of my offense revolve around him. But, of course, the NFL is, definitely a passing league, and a lot of what's done offensively is centered around the quarterback, so you're going to be seeing a lot of Sanchez here as well. Now, I'm going to try not to compare the two games that much, but I think you kind of have to. And by the two games, of course, I mean NCAA football and Madden, because even though it's the same sport, these games are very different from each other in the way that the game feels, the way that the game is presented to you, and things like that. And one of the things that I've noticed is I think NCAA does a great job of being able to prepare you for Madden because NCAA is a lot more fast-paced. Now, of course, this is all my opinion, meaning that you have less time to be able to find an open receiver, less time to be able to find holes when you're rushing, and things like that. So when Madden comes around and you have a little bit more time, I think you can make some smarter decisions. And I think overall, passing is a lot easier in Madden, and I think that kind of goes, of course, with the fact that the NFL is a quarterback-driven league. So, of course, even though I'm saying LT will be a big part of my offense, I mean, he's not going to be a huge part of my offense. I don't think you can really do that too much in Madden, but I don't know. We'll take a look. Maybe we'll see how things go with my franchise as the Buccaneers. I might try to put a ground game together, but who knows. Now, one of the things here, kind of going back to what's going on right now, is I am definitely going to have to defend against the pass quite a bit. Not just because you see a lot of passing in the NFL, but because I'm going up against Eli Manning. And anytime you hear one of the Mannings, you know they're going to be passing. Or anytime you go up against one of the Mannings, I guess I should say, you know there's going to be a lot of passing. Now, Bradshaw for the Giants is their running back, and he can string a lot of good runs together. So this might be a pretty tough game for me to be able to defend in, simply because I'll be set up for the pass a lot. I think Bradshaw will kind of take advantage of that and get a lot of yards. So we're going to see, though, what happens. I think I defend a lot better in Madden as well because I do a lot more by way of blitzing and play a lot more aggressively than what I do in NCAA, just because I think it pays off a lot more here in Madden than in NCAA. So one of the things here, too, LT hasn't really been doing too great on the ground until these last couple plays where he was able to string some good runs together. And so I'm hoping, though, that that'll start to be something that kind of picks up as we go along. Of course, it's a little bit different. LT, though, gets the touchdown diving into the end zone. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes I'll set up this play on purpose just to be able to see the halfback dive over the entire offense and defensive line and just drop in the end zone. But that time I didn't set it up on purpose. I'm just glad LT got the touchdown. So 7-0 here with less than a minute, of course, left in the first quarter, which you can see at the top here. Another thing that's going to be different about Madden than NCAA, you guys, there's going to be a lot less points here than what you're going to see in NCAA. So you guys saw my first Nebraska game where I scored like 60-something points. It's going to be so rare in this game. I'm hoping I don't get that high. Now I'm going to be playing on All-Pro to kind of start off just to see how it's going. But like I said, I do a lot better with Madden than NCAA. So this might be something I have to bump up a little bit later. We'll take a look how things go in this game. I seem to be doing a pretty good job so far. Great pass by Sanchez to be able to get a lot of yards on this one here. So seems like momentum 100% going my way at this point. Defense is doing a great job of stopping the Giants. Offense have had a couple problems, but overall been able to do a pretty good job. One of the things that I wish I could see that the Giants improve on a little bit in this game is that my offensive line kind of be a little bit more consistent. If I know that my defense or that the offensive line can be able to hold the defensive line, then I mean, of course, I'm going to sit there and watch what goes on downfield a lot more, and in some cases, just have 100% concentration on what's going on downfield. sometimes in the game, I'll have to check what's going on with the offensive line to see if the defense is coming in. And there have been times that when I do that, I miss what's going on downfield and I miss an open receiver. So consistency would be nice here, but we're still early in the game. I mean, 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Plenty ahead. Bradshaw getting a couple yards on that one. Actually 5, so more than a couple. And Bradshaw has been doing a pretty good job of being consistent. But luckily for me, the consistency has been revolving around him just getting maybe 2-3 yards. So if I can continue to hold him, awesome. Manning back in the pocket. I know that something's always going to develop when he gets that much time. Able to get it to Smith for a lot of yards. And really for both of the quarterbacks, there really hasn't been too much in the way of any kind of opposition when looking at receivers downfield. Now, it seems like when I try to mix it up, going with zone or man, it seems like Eli Manning can kind of figure something out to get past it, or one of the receivers just breaks open. Now, injury timeout right here. Bradshaw does go down, but he's not out for too long. It's one of the getting the wind knocked out of him type of injuries. This one, they end up losing a lot of yards, and that's something that's different in this game too, is the screen I don't think is nearly as effective in this game as it is in NCAA. But then at the same time, this is the first game, so I haven't really been able to explore it too much. Maybe the timing is a little bit different. Eli Manning getting 10 yards on that pass, so 4th and 6, meaning the Giants are going to have to punt. And I'm really happy that I've been able to shut him out so far. And I got plenty of time to try and string something together again. Doesn't look like I'll be able to, though, as I get sacked right there at the 2-minute warning. And I have to end that drive pretty quick. But Harris is able to get the interception off of Manning, so I might be able to score again here with 1:42 left in the half. And I got pretty good field position, too. So I'll try and string together some passes, of course. I'll kind of go to the side, get it to LT, who gets the first down and some more on that one. So I'm pretty close to being in field goal position. With some kickers, I might even say I'm in field goal position right now. Be able to kick a solid field goal anyway. And once again, no problem finding a receiver. Holmes makes it into the end zone for the touchdown. So here we are, 21-0, and time is ticking down for the first half. So Eli Manning, with some time, may be able to string something together. We'll take a look, see what he does with plenty of time in the pocket. Goes with a short pass over to Bradshaw. Didn't think that was necessarily too smart of a move. Goes with another short pass. And that's kind of one of the things that Eli Manning has been doing a lot this game, is just going with a lot of short passes. And I've kind of seen that with some of the other people as well who've been playing the game, is that the computer will throw a lot of short passes. And that's something that is a little bit different, I think, than NCAA. So I, of course, have to change my strategy. Now, LT breaking for a lot of yards on this one. Just as time's running out, I'm just literally waiting for the half to end, just going to the locker room. I don't think I'm really going to make too many changes of anything at all here, but I'm glad he was able to get those yards. I don't know if the Giants were set up for a pass, because I wasn't going to try anything with that much time left. I just wanted it to end. Holmes doing a great job of being able to catch the ball once again, and he's been a pretty solid receiver to be able to go to the entire game. Of course, you can see 6 receptions, 86 yards. That's really no small task when you're at this point of the game here. So I tried to go with the screen again. I end up getting sacked. One of the things, though, the defender is always over there by the halfback, and I do not feel comfortable, of course, throwing it there. I was hoping that maybe if I kept going back, I could let some time go by. Now, bad pass on my part. Johnson ends up getting the pick on this one, and fortunately, though, I'm able to stop him before he gets too far downfield. So I really didn't have a choice on that one. I mean, it was 3rd and 21, and, of course, I had to throw a deep pass. But I think I could have been a little bit smarter on who I was going to be throwing it to, or at least when I was going to throw it. We get a chance to take a look right here. I mean, he did seem open before I threw it, but right here, of course, he wasn't open at all. Secondary just came in and was able to get all around the receiver before it really got to him. So nice job by the Giants defense. Bradshaw getting 6 yards on that one. And Bradshaw's consistency is starting to end up being a benefit to the Giants, because now he's getting about 5 or 6 yards a carry. Manning going down on this one, though. That was nice. 3rd and 10, so they lose 6 on that one. And I needed something to kind of shut down their momentum. Not like the Giants really have too much momentum right now, and that's something that I kind of don't like to see. I mean, this game really has been pretty one-sided at this point. But Eli Manning able to get the first down. So good to see them be able to convert. And it seems like their ability to convert is definitely starting to improve. Now, Manning, if he had kept on with that one, could have gotten a lot of yards. Now, I don't know if you got a chance to see that statistic, 11 for 15. So, I mean, Manning is completing passes, but they're a whole bunch of short ones. I mean, we're talking like 4 or 5 yards on the ones that he's been able to complete. Really nothing too long of a pass. So that's kind of how I've been setting up my defense now, is just kind of setting it up for some more short passes, not necessarily going for too much too deep. And it's been working for me. And obviously, if I've been able to shut down the Giants up to this point, I mean, defense is working just fine. But defense for the Giants is working okay, too, continuing to stop LT. I mean, he's had a couple good runs, but nothing to really get too excited about. I was expecting more out of LT, but at the same time, when you take a look at his attributes, it's really not too high anymore. So he actually was starting the game as the backup halfback, even though that he didn't have as high of a rating. I ended up getting sacked again. But going back to LT, I mean, he didn't have – I mean, the starter had less – I think it was 81, and LT was an 84 overall. So I don't know why he was necessarily the backup. But I put him in, and seems to be doing all right. Once again, Madden going with short passes. 12 of 17 for 74 yards. You'd expect to see a lot more out of him. So ground game, though, still not picking up at all for the Giants. Bradshaw, though, doing a great job, but really nothing that's come at a time where it's been really important. I mean, he does get some yards maybe on first or second downs, but it seems like when it counts, Bradshaw really hasn't been able to put something together. And I think it's because I've been blitzing a lot more than what I usually do. So, like, here you go. You see Pace, of course, coming around, and I think that's what helped set up the sack. So 4th and 20, you guys know what the Giants are going to do, because you do the same thing in this situation. You got to punt the ball. So 4th quarter now. 7 minutes, of course, left in the game. I got to do 7-minute quarters because that's what I think gives me the most realistic stats. Starts off not being too pretty for me at all. So I got 3rd and 8 at this point here. I don't know if I'll be able to necessarily convert, because Giants are definitely doing a lot better. Remember, 21 was the amount of points I had going into halftime, and I haven't scored anything since that point. So doesn't seem like it's too one-sided, but I'd say overall that it has been so far. And hopefully things will kind of change here, because there's still plenty of game ahead. I mean, it's very possible to score 21 points in a quarter, so it just means I got to make a lot of mental mistakes, which I think I've been doing a pretty good job of not making too many of them here in this game. Of course, made a few, but nothing really that's been catastrophic. Sanchez getting plenty of time, able to throw it downfield. Gets a long pass with that one. I don't see too many of those from me here, but glad to see that it works at least. Toss over to LT, able to pick up some yards, get closer, of course, to the goal line. Hand it to him once again. This time he ends up losing 2 yards, so we got 3rd and 3 at this point. I'm kind of thinking what I should do. I decided to end up going with the pass, which was probably not a good idea because I ended up getting sacked, of course. So 4th and 8. That means I have got to kick a field goal. And I'm not going to lie, not too great at kicking so far in this game. I got to figure it out. But I do a pretty good job on that one. So at least in clutch moments, I'm doing all right. So I expand the lead, of course, to 24-0 now. 4:11 left in the 4th quarter. Don't think that the Giants are necessarily going to be able to come back, but you got to give them props for trying at least. So Bradshaw able to get some good yards on that one. About 6 or 7 yards. So he gets 6 yards on that one. So we'll take a look, though, here as they're, of course, going with a hurry-up style offense to try and see how much they can get done with a little amount of time. Eli Manning with probably the longest pass he's had all game long with that one. So nice job to be able to get that to Smith to get a good amount of yards. So maybe this is the time where the Giants will start to string something together. Usually you see that the quarterback and the offense in general in the 4th quarter does a much better job than they've done in any other parts of the game. So able to stop the run, though. Bradshaw's not going anywhere, so anything that the Giants are going to have to do has to be done through the air, and they got to be smarter than this about it. Only getting 4 yards on that one. With this much time left, about less than 3:30 here at this point, I mean, they're going to have to go with something a lot longer down the field than just something for 4 yards. Able to get the sack. Manning really has no choice. He's got to wait for something to open up, so I'll be continuing to blitz with this one, if not forcing him to be able to make a bad throw, getting sacks like that. So the Giants are going to have to end up punting because there's really nothing that they can do from this point. I'm going to do the honorable thing here. I am just going to continue to run the clock out. So you'll see a lot of rushes with LT here as time starts to run down. And the Giants really aren't doing anything to try and stop me, not calling any timeouts or anything. A lot of yards by LT on this one here. Again, time is starting to run down. We've got about 1:10 left in the game. So overall, I'd say this is a pretty one-sided game. Maybe All-Pro is too easy for me. That's pretty nice to hear. Got to go with the most difficult setting, but we'll kind of see. I mean, this is just one game, and who knows? I mean, maybe the next game be a little bit different, but I have a lot of fun with this. I think Madden does have a lot of promise. You'll be seeing some more games from me. Of course, I'm going to be doing a franchise with the Bucks. I'll probably do an NFL Superstar as well, and of course these viewer request games. So since the requests have already started coming in, if you want to see an NFL game, go ahead and let me know what it is, and I'll definitely put it on a list to be able to do that. Holmes ends up getting play of the game, I think rightfully so, with 102 yards receiving. That's not that bad at all. But I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, a lot of promise with Madden, so I had a lot of fun playing this game. If you guys liked the video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to me if you haven't already. And as always,